So he was able to. So Terrence was able to keep him at bay, but he's gonna have to discover some of that stuff. He's gonna have to maybe even. And I'm not gonna be racist right now, but he's probably gonna have to get a black trainer, man, for some time. Like he has to,
Wow.
because Mexicans box different. Mexicans box, and the reason why I
Wow.
say that is
Really?
because De La Hoya, yeah, De La Hoya to pick up his skills and to understand a lot of his competition, he got
He started
Mayweather.
eating
Yeah,
chicken.
he got
I mean,
Mayweather's dad. You know what I'm saying?
and
Like this is real,
watermelon.
dude.
No.
And in order for you to understand, a black fighter, dude, you gotta get a black coach for a minute. You can't just go Mexican all the time. So that's my 2 cents on that. But other than that,
Feel
what do I
you're
think is next
saying.
for and hear me out here, Kamaruddin. You know who I think is next for Terrence Crawford? What I would like to see is now that he beat and dominated Canelo Alvarez, I
Who?
would love to see Terrence Crawford versus the Mexican monster David Benavidez.
I
Not too
knew it was
much.
coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
He was at
Oh
68.
my
He was the number
God.
one. He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh
Canelo,
my God.
what's
Relax.
up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He
He's
said he,
not
he said he said he could still make 168 pounds, dude. The
he's
reason why
not
he was out because
making
nobody wants to fight him.
he's not making 168. And that come on. Like that, yeah, no. He's doing big things at that next up. He's not making 68. That's a big, big dude. And to be honest, Terrence Crawford's 37 years old. Terrence Crawford's our age. Yes, of course, he still has a lot of life left if he chooses to, but he just got that check.
And let me ask you this, Oscar. I mean, obviously you've been in the fight game for a very long time. You fought the best, so you know what it takes to fight at that elite level.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Canelo Alvarez. Like, if you were still advising him, what would you tell him? I mean, do you want to see him retire, or would you tell him, hey, it's time to rebuild, or maybe find a new trainer?
Yeah, look, I mean, the only thing I can tell him or give him advice in is get a new trainer. I can't advise him on retiring or staying in box. That's a very personal decision. But I can say, hey, get a new trainer. You'll do better. A new trainer will teach you different tricks. Will imagine him getting one of the best trainers out there in the world, like a Ronnie Shields, who's gonna teach you footwork, who's gonna teach you speed and movement and not be so heavy on your feet. So imagine with his power and with his reflexes, he still has a chance to fight several more fights with the elites, but he needs a new trainer.
Floyd Mayweather Sr., maybe? Mayweather Sr.? What would he do with Canelo?
Floyd, for me, is the best trainer I've ever had in my life. He would revitalize his style. He would make him a new fighter. That's how great Floyd is.
And the Golden Boy.
You saw, at the last 2 rounds with Canelo, when he threw a punch, something that surprised me, he threw a punch and it didn't work, and he got caught, and it seemed like he just walked away from Crawford. He turned around. To me, I took it like I'm just tired. I'm done.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia said he's mentally tired. Like, it's almost like he's checked out. Would it make sense for him to just retire after this? What else is for him to prove now?
Well, look, I mean, you have to look. I'm a fighter, right? And I know exactly what he was feeling and thinking. It's called frustration. When you're facing a Floyd, he got frustrated. When he faced Bivol, he got frustrated, tried to lift him up and body slam him in the ring. When he got hit by Crawford and he took that deep breath, he's frustrated. Don't get me wrong. Canelo facing the right opponent that's going to stay in front of him, that's going to fight, that's going to make it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So I'm not saying Canelo's shot or done. No, it's far from it. It's all on the matchmaking. It's all who you put in front of him. It's all about squeezing those last dollars from the fans, Canelo. You want to squeeze the fans?
What about the
Come on, take it easy on the fans. But obviously, look, again, Crawford just took him to school. That's basically it. That's the bottom line. I mean, Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, he moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes, seriously.
Switching the coin, you know, Crawford, you know, they were talking about going down to 160, maybe hypothetically taking a vacant belt to face Joran Ennis. They're even talking about going Benavidez, but that's just, you know, Benavidez is a 175 now. But what fights make sense for Crawford at the moment as well?
I seriously feel that when Crawford beat Canelo, right? He beat the top dog. He beat the man, right? Okay, where do you go from there? He's gonna have a very difficult time dealing with the media, with the fans, because any fighter he chooses to fight next is not gonna be good enough, right? Because he already beat the top dog. I strongly feel, and I know we're talking about Vergil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin, and I don't like to dream and overthink
That's why I didn't bring that
and
up.
plan another fight. But hey, what about if Vergil gets past Lubin? What about Vergil and Crawford at 160? Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's going to touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be of Vergil Ortiz.
They can do the national anthem. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's boxing tradition.
Yeah,
especially for
well,
September.
look, boxing tradition has to be respected because the fans love the national anthem. You know, you represent your country, you know, the US, Mexico, the world, whatever it might be. It's honor, it's respect. And, you know, I think Canelo did right by having the person sing the national anthem in his dressing room. It's out of respect. You know, you got to respect that. And so it was a beautiful thing he did, but yeah, we must keep tradition in boxing.
David, what were your thoughts on Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo? A guy, look, Canelo never ducked anyone in his career until you got to super middleweight. And he clearly has not fought you, even though you were the number one guy. But otherwise, he's been a guy who's willing to fight everyone. And I have thoughts about that I want to ask you about in a minute. But first, I'd like to get your thoughts on Crawford's performance against Canelo, because he beat you to it. What do you think about how Crawford did?
First of all, I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing, because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, man, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but as take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terrence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terrence Crawford.
Talking to maybe the most avoided fighter in boxing, the monster, David Benavidez.
David, I got to ask you, bro, before you leave, because all the fans want to know this. Can you still make 168?
To be honest with you, man, let Terrence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay.
I lost interest in 168 a long, long time ago. You know, I mean, I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175. I'm chasing better beef. I'm chasing Bivol. You know, I'm chasing these other bigger. I'm chasing Surdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. You know what I mean? So I've been at 168, but I have no interest in going down.
Dude's a maniac. Who's chasing? Who chases better BF than Bivol? Who chases better BF than Bivol?
Hey,
what's wrong with you?
And you're looking at the one that's going to chase all of them. Like these guys are monsters, but this is a monsters world. And we're going to thrive in this environment.